gentlemen, I'm here tonight to tell you a very strange story. A story so strange that no one will believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, the eighth wonder of the world, Kong.
The evolution of King Kong is complete.
Something monstrous.
All powerful.
Lights, cameras, Kong.
80 years since the original, he lives again in a musical. The most expensive puppet ever made. He's all Australian and he's very bloody scary.
Holy mackerel, what a show. Hey, Skipper, come here and get a load of this.
King Kong's newest adventure begins with a puppet master from Melbourne called Sunny Tilders.
When you say to people that you're a puppet maker, they think little glove puppets. And then you say, well, actually, I've got this little shed that's 3,000 square metres with 40 full-time staff, and we make our puppets the size of your house. And then it sort of starts to put in perspective.
This is Sunny's little shed in West Melbourne. That is impressive. The world headquarters of global creatures.
This is the neck of the puppet. I've got the body on my right hand here, which does the up and down and the twist. Most of us of my generation at least can recall Jaws, and the shark probably is one of the most infamous animatronic puppets ever made. Infamous because it hardly ever worked. It's sort of where it all started, and then we just went into this whole era where animatronics really took over in filmmaking.
It was the 80s when Sunny got his start on some Australian-made science fiction television. Hollywood called. He worked on Star Wars and Chronicles of Narnia. Then, in 2006, Sunny and his team took puppetry to a whole new dimension. Walking with Dinosaurs, a $12 million arena spectacular based on the BBC TV series. Ambitious? Yes. Successful? You bet. For 2 years, Global Creatures was Australia's top-earning entertainment company. Could you ever believe the success of the company?
What I love about it is it's just with puppets, this marginal sort of art form, and to have it be such a world beater is something none of us ever really dreamed of.
Did you ever hear of Kong? Right, yes. Something monstrous.
So this is your big baby. Can I touch him?
You may.
Oh, where do you start? You're making the biggest, most sophisticated puppet in the world.
Well, you start with a gorilla. You start with all the gorillas that have gone before you in the films.
Kong's coming!
That was a puppet?
That was definitely a puppet. That was a little stop-motion puppet about this big. Peter Jackson's film was just a bunch of pixels. There was no real puppet in that. So you look at those to see where people have gone before.
I have to ask you what you thought of the 76 film.
I can remember seeing it as a kid, and as much as I love Jessica Lange, it wasn't a draw card for me. It just looked terrible.
So you got no inspiration from that?
Absolutely none.
His inspirational starting point was the real deal. Expressive, impressive, magnificent. What's always inspired lovers of Kong is that at its heart, it's a love story.
It wasn't the airplanes. It was beauty killed the beast.
It was capturing that emotion, the intricate emotion of a beast with feelings, that was the biggest challenge.
It's the subtle breath, it's the timing of an eye blink with a shoulder flex. It's all these little things that we take for granted.
It's been 5 years in the making. Opening night is less than a month away. Rehearsals are in full swing under American director Daniel Kramer.
King Kong, it's the second one right after the Bada.
He looks a bit like another director, Carl Denham, played by Jack Black in 2005.
Keep telling you, Jack, there's no money in theater.
I do have a strange affinity with Carl Denham. It's somewhat embarrassing, I think.
You're much better off sticking with film.
Of course I understand him. I am him. On many levels, he's a motor-mouthed, overpassionate, verbose director. Well, so am I.
It's a thundering mix of machinery and pure muscle.
Lower.
Technology goes so far, but manpower pulls the strings.
Right now, we have at least 35 people working to create every tiny move.
Travels up with it.
Men on huge swinging trapezes becoming his legs, guys launching off his shoulders to make an arm fly up as a counterweight. He has to run a lot. He's got to swipe. He's got to hit airplanes. He's got to launch between buildings. Imagine like having the ultimate Nintendo Wii pad, and they're controlling the tiniest little effects in King Kong's face and in his shoulders and his wrists to give him a hyper-realistic illusion of being real.
Well, we'll start with a profile.
Yep.
When I start cranking, I hold it a minute and then turn slowly toward me.
Okay.
You see me, and then you laugh. All right?
Yep. There is a lot riding on the shoulders of this 1-ton silverback, because as the star of the show, he's got to put on a pretty convincing performance. From what we saw, this Australian beast is a beauty. After the Melbourne musical finishes, King Kong is likely to have another adventure on Broadway. The last time, he caused a bit of a stir. So there are a few nerves,
Just sitting there grinding my teeth, watching, waiting for something to go wrong.
but even greater anticipation.
Such a New York story, and it would be great to have this New York story told by a bunch of Australians and a bunch of people from around the world. It would be a terrific coup.